You're at a gas station grabbing a bag of jerky for the road. Simple snack. Except this snack fed Mongol hordes across Asia, kept conquistadors alive crossing the Andes, and sustained pioneers on the Oregon Trail. Dried meat isn't just food. It's the portable protein that made long-distance human movement possible. Every empire that expanded beyond its borders figured out some version of what you're holding. But here's something that might surprise you. That cheap bag and the expensive bag aren't the same product. They're fundamentally different foods. One is dried meat, the other is protein paste. The difference comes down to a 4,000-year-old preservation technique. The Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous land empire in history. At its peak, it stretched from Korea to Poland, 9,000 miles of terrain with no refrigeration, no supply chains, no way to keep meat fresh. How do you feed an army that moves faster than any force the world had seen? Dried meat. Mongol cavalry carried strips of dried horse meat and mutton under their saddles. Body heat and friction softened the meat while they rode. One rider could carry enough protein for weeks without stopping for provisions. No preserved meat, no Mongol conquest. The Inca had their own version called Jerky, strips of llama meat dried in the thin cold air of the Andes at 12,000 feet elevation. The Quechua word meant simply dried meat. Spanish conquistadors discovered charqui in the 1500s and realized they'd found something revolutionary: protein that didn't rot, food that weighed almost nothing. They brought the technique to Europe. Then industrialization changed everything. By the 1900s, jerky wasn't survival food anymore. It was convenience food. Factories needed millions of pounds per year at prices consumers would pay. Traditional drying took days. Traditional cuts were expensive, so manufacturers invented shortcuts that transformed jerky from preserved meat into something else entirely. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Real beef jerky starts with whole muscle, typically top round, bottom round, or flank steak. These cuts have long muscle fibers running in one direction and minimal fat. Fat doesn't dry well. It goes rancid. Quality jerky makers trim every visible piece of fat before slicing the meat into strips roughly a quarter-inch thick, cutting against the grain for tender chew or with the grain for tougher, more traditional texture. The marinade does more than add flavor. Salt concentration between 2 and 5% draws moisture out of the meat through osmosis, while simultaneously inhibiting bacterial growth. This is the same principle that preserved meat for Mongol riders and Incan messengers 4,000 years ago. Sugar balances the salt and feeds the Maillard reaction during drying. That's the chemical process that creates brown color and savory depth. Soy sauce, Worcestershire, garlic, pepper, and smoke flavoring round out most traditional recipes. The meat soaks for 4 to 24 hours depending on thickness and desired intensity. Drying is where the transformation happens. Traditional jerky dries at 160 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 to 12 hours. The USDA requires internal temperature to hit 160 degrees to kill pathogens. As moisture evaporates, the meat loses 60 to 70% of its original weight. 5 pounds of raw beef becomes roughly 1.5 pounds of jerky. Water activity drops below 0.85, the threshold where bacteria cannot grow. What remains is concentrated protein, intensified flavor, and a texture that can last months without refrigeration. But here's where it gets strange. If the technique is 4,000 years old and the chemistry is understood, why does gas station jerky taste nothing like what sustained empires? The answer is economics. Real whole muscle jerky requires premium cuts. 1 pound of finished jerky needs roughly 3 pounds of raw meat. Do the math on that $15 bag. Margins are razor thin, so manufacturers found a workaround. But wait, there's a health angle most jerky lovers miss. Sodium content varies wildly across brands. A single ounce of jerky can contain 300 to 700 milligrams of sodium. That's 13 to 30% of your daily recommended intake in a few bites. Most gas station jerky sits at the high end because salt is the cheapest preservative and flavor enhancer. It masks lower quality meat and extends shelf life. Those Mongol riders weren't worried about blood pressure. You might be. Premium brands use less sodium because they rely on proper drying technique rather than salt saturation. Here's where the story flips. That cheap gas station jerky? It's probably not whole muscle at all. Read the ingredients carefully. Beef, followed by words like mechanically separated, restructured, or formed, means the product started as scraps and trimmings ground into paste, then pressed into strip shapes and dried. It's technically beef, it's technically jerky, but it's not what Mongol cavalry carried under their saddles. The texture is uniform and spongy instead of fibrous and chewy. The flavor is flat. You're eating processed protein shaped to look like dried meat. So how do you buy smarter? 3 tests in the store. First, check the ingredients. Real Jerky lists beef as the first ingredient with no qualifiers. Just beef or beef top round. Words like mechanically separated signal restructured product. Second, look at the texture through the package. Whole muscle jerky has visible grain and fiber direction. Restructured jerky looks uniformly smooth. Third, feel the flexibility. Real jerky bends before it breaks. Processed jerky snaps like a cracker. Price anchors to remember. Under $6 per bag typically means restructured meat and heavy sodium. $6 to $10 gets you whole muscle from commodity beef, the everyday sweet spot. Above $10 enters craft territory. Grass-fed beef, small batch drying, and sustainable sodium levels. The upgrade costs $2 more per ounce. That's the price of eating the food that built empires. So next time you're at that gas station wall, you're choosing between 4,000 years of preservation and modern shortcuts. Which one's in your bag? That's the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there's something you'd like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.